So the Dolph trial started today, man, and it started off crazy. I mean, I'm talking about these guys are on the stand, man, writing a book. Like they telling everything. Like they are going in. They not holding nothing back. I don't even understand what's the point of even doing all this if when you get caught you just gonna tell on each other and just go away for the rest of your life. Like what was the point? Check this out.
So Dolph?
Yes, sir.
The chain around his neck, is that the PRE chain?
Yes, sir.
The one that we saw in the exhibit?
Yes, sir.
And that's Marcus behind him?
Yes, sir.
Have his clear.
Yes, sir.
But these guys rap about being gangster. They rap about being all kinds of GD and BD and Memphis thugs and everything, right? But let's just look at the opening statements, how these dudes get down once they court and they in the W man's courtroom. Look at this.
Wait, but it's a matter of seconds, and it's the last seconds of his life, so we can wait for him. He'll stop there first. All right. This taller man here in the yellow shirt, blue jeans, white shoes. His name is Adolph Thornton, Jr. You've heard me read it a couple times now. He grew up in Memphis. The neighborhood he grew up in was Castalia, not terribly far from this, also a neighborhood in South Memphis. You'll see a member of his family testify this week, and she'll tell you a little bit about his background and his family. I'll tell you a little bit about him right now, though. He is an ambitious young man who was a rapper, Memphis rapper, who rapped about the things that he saw growing up and that he sees in his neighborhood in Memphis. Some of that is drugs, some of that is violence, some of that is crime, some of that is gangs. Stop it there. This man here got out of the car with Dolph. That's his brother. His name's Marcus Thornton. His brother, his friend. This thing that we're about to watch has had a terrible impact on Marcus. Not just his brother and his friend, but he also works security for him. In fact, as Marcus walks in the studio store, he has a gun on his person and has another gun in the car. Stop it there. A car that just drove up came from this side of the parking lot. It had actually been following Dolph on the street. When Dolph turned in, it went up to this light where it got stopped for a few seconds and then came around. It's a white Mercedes. There's other pictures where you'll be able to see it more clearly. But it's a white Mercedes with back end damage back here on the back passenger side of the car. It's a stolen car. It's a stolen car that our defendant here, Justin Johnson, traded for one car for another at a gas station about 10 hours before this murder happened. This man got out of the passenger side of the white Mercedes. Door's still open. We saw him run to the parking lot. He's here with a large semi-automatic weapon. He's in a hoodie, he's got sweatpants, and he's got white shoes. We'll see a second man come out of the car too. Those two men that we're going to see come out of the car, they're going to gun Dolph down. He's inside the business. He has walked over to sort of where the bathrooms are in the business. He's as close as I am to Dolph. There's the window, and he's getting shot through the window. Both of these men will shoot. This one in particular, it looks like he's never shot this type of gun before. It's because he probably hadn't The second man out of the car who's driving is our defendant, Justin Johnson. Neither one of these men are professional hitmen. It looks like they don't take tactical shooting stances because they don't. Let's watch Mr. Johnson get out of the car. You can stop it here. This is Dolph here. Remember, he was wearing the yellow. This is Marcus. Remember, I told you he had a gun. He tries to return fire as these two men quickly shoot Dolph. Dolph's body's riddled with bullets. He shot all in the back, in the face, in the neck, in his arms. The first man out was Cornelius Smith, and he has a semi-automatic weapon, shooting wildly into Dolph. The second man out was Justin Johnson, who has a handgun, who's firing at Dolph as he lays on the ground. Marcus Thornton starts firing back once he hears the shots. Now we see him emerge from the building. You can't tell in the video, but Marcus actually hits Cornelius in the shoulder, shooting back.
So we all seen Dolph get hit up in that cookie store, man, and it was sad. You know, he had his brother with him who was supposed to be security at the time. You know, we see in the video the guys pulling up in that white Benz, and one guy jump out with the rifle, you know, and just air everything out. You know, but now they're caught. They're caught, and they're telling on each other. You know, we know his sister had to come identify the body. We know that CMG was having a beef with, what's the name of that? PRE. They, some people was alleging back then when it happened that Big Joook put $100,000 on his head, and now it's come out to be true. And we know now that Big Joook has been murked out. And like it's, you know, nobody should be celebrating this because this is a sad thing. You got Dolph that's dead. He's a father and had a wife. You got Big Joook that's dead. He's a father and had a woman. So at what point do we celebrate this real N-word culture? It's devastating. It's destructive, right? Two black men dead, and all for what? And we know that Dolph was shot in L.A. They got shot at in Charlotte. So it's just a whole bunch of foolishness. But let's go back into the courtroom. Check this out.
Good to see you again. Thank y'all for being here. It's an important day. It's going to be an important week as you all sit in judgment and you evaluate the evidence in this case. And as we talked about in Ward Iron, Mr. Johnson sits before you innocent. And he'll remain that way. Because at the conclusion of this case, once you've viewed all the evidence and heard all the testimony, you will not be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that he did this. Because he didn't. Now, Mr. Haggard was a very skilled attorney, did a great opening statement. But there's always two sides. And there are certain things about this case that I'm going to urge you to be paying particular attention to. You heard a little bit about Govan. And I anticipate you'll get to hear from Govan in this case. You already heard you're going to be hearing from Mr. Smith. You know, and Mr. Hagerman talked about Mr. Govan and said he liked to, you know, get an interest in young rappers, right? He liked to exploit. He liked to exploit young rappers, like Mr. Johnson. He brings no skill to the table, but you're going to hear testimony about how he intended. It was his sole mission to get a 30 to 60% piece of Mr. Johnson. You're going to hear him say, oh, man, Mr. Johnson was going to go platinum. And he and his godbrother had missed out on this golden opportunity for another rapper, and they weren't going to let that go by. They weren't going to let that go by again. And so he gets his claws into Mr. Johnson. All right? And what you're going to hear is, as the process goes on, is the idea is that he's going to sign with CMG, Mr. Johnson is. But there comes a point in the road where what Mr. Govan wants, which is a meal ticket, the payday, and what Mr. Johnson wants, different. And you're going to hear about how they take this trip to Atlanta. And the whole idea is that they're going to go to Atlanta, and this is Mr. Govan's chance. He's got another guy he's going to bring in to help sell the management contract, which is going to give him this massive piece of this young up-and-coming artist. And you're going to hear, this is about September of 21. This is right before November. And you're going to hear that they go to Atlanta to meet Joook, who is one of the higher-ups at CMG. Right? They go to Atlanta, and while in Atlanta, Mr. Johnson decides, I'm not going to go your way. I'm not going to go your way, Govan. I'm not going into business with you. I'm going to do it without you. And at that moment, I anticipate you're going to hear Mr. Govan say he was really mad. He felt some kind of way about the fact that he had, in his mind, his perception was he had done all this to help this up-and-coming star, and now he was going to be left to the wayside, and he wasn't going to get a piece. And he's so angry that he leaves Mr. Johnson in Atlanta. Leaves him there. Mr. Johnson has to find another way home. You know, Mr. Hagerman talked about, you know, it's not 1981, right? It's 2024 now. It's 21 when this happened. But there are certain things that are as old as time. And that's greed, right? Pride, and deceit. And that's what Mr. Govan has, is greed. And then he gets angry. Because if he can't get a piece of this young artist, nobody can. Nobody can. It's time to tank this one. Because he's not going to go to it. And Govan, you're going to hear, and the state has said, is soliciting. He's in the middle of this thing with Dolph. It's going to be important for you through this case to really pay attention to credibility. When you hear witnesses like Govan testify, why is he saying what he's saying? What's he getting at? He's getting something. And you're going to hear it. He's got a vested interest in making sure that he saves his own hide. And takes this young rapper, this young man, off the board. Since he wasn't going to go with him in the first place. Since he abandoned him. And decided not to share any of his money going forward. The same is to be said for Mr. Smith. You're going to hear from Mr. Smith. And Mr. Hagerman tells you, he says he's going to tell you that was me and Justin. You will also hear about other things Mr. Smith has said during the same time that he's been meeting with the state, meeting with law enforcement, trying to save himself. And while he's doing this, while he's meeting with them and telling them this story, you're also going to hear he's writing letters to his family and telling his family, I didn't really do this. I didn't really do this. I'm just going to get the deal. I just want the deal. I want you to know I didn't do it. I'm just saying what I got to say to get myself home. How much bigger of a motivator could someone have? And it makes you question. If he's saying those things to other people, how do you know the truth? How does the state know the truth before they put him up, right? You know, you're right, 2021. There's video. And I'm going to tell you now, similar clothing doesn't equal the same. Right? Video is going to show what it shows. You're going to be able to watch it, evaluate it, look at it. The crosstown videos and pictures that they show you. Look at them, evaluate them. Absolutely. But similar doesn't mean the same. For mass-produced items, you have to ask yourself, is there anything particularly significant or unique about those items that couldn't have been obtained by another person and worn by another person? And look, if that video on its own and the other part of that was enough, why would we need to hear from these other folks? Why would we need to hear from them? They want you to hear from them. They need you to hear from them because there was references of cell phone information. That cell phone information isn't going to be able to pinpoint where they are or where these phones are. So that area has all sorts of other locations in it. You're going to hear, you heard that car was wiped. You're going to hear that they did fingerprint analysis on the car. Cornelius Smith's prints are on the car. Another individual named Kristen Gardner on the car. Another gentleman named Trayon Ingram on the car. You know whose fingerprints aren't on the car? Justin Johnson. And if it was wiped and then moved and wiped, as the state suggests, then how are their prints on it? You're going to hear that they did touch DNA, right? So lucky. It's not 1981 anymore. We got touch DNA now. Forensics has come a long way. Crime scene unit went into this car and did several swipes for touch DNA. They don't have anything saying Justin Johnson's DNA.
So what you have is a bunch of fake thugs and real N-words now panicking in the courtroom, and everybody's scrambling, looking to cover their behind, right? You got one brother snitching on the other one. You got like homies saying it was this guy, and it's just a whole bunch. It's just a whole bunch of foolishness. But now let's go back into the courtroom and let's continue to look at how this is unfolding in the opening statements, because this trial is going to be. I think this trial is going to be open and shut because guys are just telling themselves down. Remember, it has to be proven, right? But these dudes, man, are trying to get the best deals that they can take, man. One, I mean, they saying that they didn't even get the right money. One guy, I mean, they only got $800 for it. It's just a whole bunch of bullshit. But let's look at what, let's go back into the courtroom.
They followed him. And for them, this is just business. This was just business. They don't even know each other that well. Let's start with Cornelius. Cornelius is from this neighborhood, Orange Mound. He's in his early 30s now. Cornelius has had serious drug problem. He does ecstasy and Percocet. He gets his drugs over on Bradley Street, just over 2 miles from the scene, from a man whose name you've heard, Hernandez Gobe. They don't call him that, though. They call him Quet. His middle name's Marquette, and it's shortened to Quet. So Cornelius gets his drugs from Quet. Quet is what in Memphis we call an old head, older guy, lives in the neighborhood, lifelong criminal, in and out of jail through the years. Quet sells drugs. Quet gambles on sports like crazy, online sports stuff. And then Quet tries to identify young rappers and tries to shop them to CMG, hoping to get a cut, hoping to hit it big. Years ago, he and his brother missed out on one of those big rappers. But Quet knew a young rapper who he was in the process of shopping to CMG. And that young rapper is Justin Johnson, who goes by Straight Drop. Sometimes I just call him Drop. So Quet's the common person. He knows Cornelius from the neighborhood, knows him well, sells him drugs. He knows Justin Johnson. He's trying to get him to be the next CMG rapper. But not just that. The business is not just rap. Because Big Joook, person I told you about before, that number 2 guy at CMG, he's put out a hit. A hit. $100,000 to whoever kills Dolph. He has met with Justin. He has met with Cornelius. And they think they're ready to do it.
Stand right here. Face your honor, raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Merci.
All right, Mr. Smith, tell me your name
Cornelius Smith,
and spell the first name
Cornelius,
and the last name.
Smith.
Now there's a microphone next to you to your right, but you don't have to worry about it. Church.
It was my daughter's birthday, actually, and I was out. I had took her some cake and ice cream to school for her birthday, and the U.S. Marshals they were trailing me the whole time. I didn't know that they were trailing me because I had saw Go Band the day before, and he was telling me that police was on to us or whatever, and he asked me when the last time I was supposed to Justin, and he was saying I was like it been a minute. So he was like they just ran in Justin's spot the night before, and he said that they been shooting at him, and that I need to get rid of my phone because they own us. And the next day, I was locked up, like
Police,
locked up.
police captured you? Police captured you that day?
The next day.
The record could reflect that he's identified the defendant, Mr. Justin Johnson, Your Honor.
Let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant in court.
So how did you get to be with Justin Johnson this day on November 17th, 2021?
We knew that, you know, they had a hit on Dolph and them head or whatever, so
Who had a hit on whose head?
Big Joook had a hit on Dolph head or whatnot, so
How do you know that Big Joook had a hit on Dolph's head?
cause Quick had told me about it, Quick, and you know what I'm saying, being just
How much money was it supposed to be?
100,000 on Dolph head.
And had you agreed to do this hit?
Yes, sir.
Had Justin agreed to do this hit?
Yes, sir.
Were y'all going to do it together?
Yeah, they been on it, but yeah.
Was there any arrangements as far as splitting the money or anything?
Yeah, me and him supposed to be giving Quick 10,000 apiece.
All right, so you and him were going to give Govan 10,000 apiece?
Yeah.
And how much were you going to get?
I was getting 40, he was getting 40.
Okay. Had you spoken with Justin about this?
Yeah, we had been talked about it.
Okay. This was not something that just happened this day, but something that was in the process for weeks?
Yeah,
Did you get in the car with him?
yeah, I got him.
Was there anybody else in the car?
Nah, it was just me and Justin.
Were there any guns in the car?
Yeah, they was on the back seat in the bag.
Do you remember what kind of guns there were?
A Draco, handgun.
Okay. And Draco, Memphis, some type of bigger semi-automatic weapon, is that right?
Yeah,
And that's what we see.
yeah, it's early.
Okay. What happens once y'all get to Airways?
We had the light. Dolph knew come clean across the light.
How'd y'all know it was Dolph?
Everybody know, you know, how he car is, you know, on T-cars and stuff.
Yeah. People in Memphis knew about that wrap, right?
Yeah.
That camouflage white and green and blue wrap. That surprised you? See him like that?
Yeah.
Did you say anything or did Justin say anything?
We was like, there go Dolph right now.
All right. What did y'all do?
We received the trailer. Received the trailer.
So y'all are following him on Airways?
Yeah, right over the street.
And you saw the first part of this video, didn't you? Did you see him pull off here to the cookie store?
Yeah, he pulled in the cookie store.
What'd y'all do?
We made the block. Came with the bagway. I jumped out. We started shooting.
All right, well, let's back up here though. We saw him pull off of Airways to here, is that right?
Yeah,
Y'all, can you see my little pointer?
yeah.
Y'all would be traveling this direction on Airways, is that right? Then did y'all do a crazy U-turn or anything, or what'd y'all do?
Nah, we came with the back street.
Okay. Following the clickers is what y'all did?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went to the light, made the loop around.
Did you? All right, you can stop right here. It's Dolph's brother, Marcus. Did you know that he shot back at y'all?
I ain't noticed until we pulled out. There was a bullet hole in my side window. And I told Justin, I'm like, man, I'm hit. He was like, I'm hit too. So I see, I'm hit right here on my leg, and I see a bullet hole in my sweater. I said, damn, I'm hit. So we driving out, he was saying he was hit. I'm talking to him, making sure we on Rick, making sure he's straight. I'm like, you all right? He's like, yeah, I'm straight. But the bullet head went in my arm, and it was a bullet in my back.
I'm going to back up. You and Justin here are running to the white Mercedes, is that right?
Right.
You get in what side of the car?
I get on the passenger side.
And Justin gets back in the driver's side?
Yeah, he get back in the driver's side.
Y'all get in the car. You can watch the rest of the video here. Did y'all see Marcus getting a second gun from his car?
Nah, but when we pulled out, and I knew it was shots back, I was finna shoot back, but there were too many cars coming, and I ain't just want to hit no anybody, so I ain't shoot back.
Because Marcus was shooting at y'all as y'all were leaving from down here, is that right?
Yeah,
And you would be in the car at this point,
yeah, we was in the car.
looking backwards?
Yeah, I was looking back, but we had, like, how we were driving, like, how he was driving, he was all the way on the other side, but, you know, so I ain't want to just shoot back and hit nobody.
So the shots, all the shots that you fired were the ones we saw right here with Dolph, is that right?
Yeah,
And Justin too?
yeah.
All right, so y'all didn't shoot back at Marcus as y'all were
Nah, we
driving
shoot
along.
back at him.
You got December's when you go to jail, December 9th.
Yeah, December 9th.
So a couple months from then, you sober up. That's when you kind come to your senses.
Yeah, and then Justin had sent me a letter saying.
Well, I'm not asking you what Justin sent you a
I'm
letter
saying
saying.
what automatically made me come to my senses and like, you know, it was wrong. You know what I'm saying? When he said, cut him loose, take Joook, and quit down with me.
Okay. So you're saying Mr. Johnson sent you something saying, he actually said he didn't do it, right?
Now, he didn't say he didn't do it. He said, cut him loose and take Joook and quit down with me because they ain't messing with us.
Oh, you mean tell the truth? Because he didn't have anything to do with it. Tell the truth.
Nah, he's saying me take the downfall.
Oh, okay.
Cut him loose. Let him go.
Okay.
And tell them to quit and him change clothes and quit with me instead of him.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Did you get it directly from Justin Johnson, this kite you're talking about?
You know, we got rock meeting and stuff, but we were talking through the vent. I was in E part, he was in E part. We were talking through the vent.
Did you get it directly from Justin Johnson?
Nah.
Did you see him write it?
Did I get it? He said, did you get that? Did you get that kite?
Did you see him write it?
Nah, I ain't see him right. I'm in another part. We
Right, you can't even see him.
When he asked me, did I get that kite?
Okay.
He sent me more than one. He sent another one and said he got 7K. I could take that. I'll leave.
Where's that?
I don't know where it's at.
You lost it?
Nah. I sent it on out to my folks.
Okay.
Sent
All
it
right.
on out to my folks. My sister.
Okay. So you started telling the truth then. So surely by August, you met with the state in August 10th of 22. Surely by then you're telling the truth.
Yeah, I'm telling the truth.
And you would agree with me the truth doesn't change. It's the truth, right?
Yeah, the truth. You know, quit. Brought me in and set me up for the police to capture me. So might as well tell the truth. If we gonna tell the truth.
Okay. So today, for the first time ever, you testified that you wiped that Mercedes down.
Yeah.
You've never said that before.
No, I ain't never.
You've never told them. You never told them that you wiped that Mercedes down?
I never told detectives when I talked to them. Nah.
Why would you not tell them? They've asked you every question under the sun about this case, right?
I said detectives. I never admitted that I was involved to detectives when I first got locked up December the 9th.
If you go in and testify in this case, right?
Before I talk to them folks and stuff like that, like, before I talk to them, that's what I'm telling my sister and them, like, man, I ain't never did no police ass shit, but, you know what I'm saying? Quit already told them everything. They already knew everything, so I might as well, you know, tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? Tell my role, tell his role, you know what I'm saying? So, be honest.
Well, and you bring up Quet in this letter. You even tell your sisters that when you saw Quet on December 8th, it was like he had a limited time to find somebody to pin this on. Talking about Quet.
Hey, you know, I was just getting locked up, right? So I wasn't finna say, yeah, that was me. I'm not finna say, yeah, I know that was me or nothing like that. Any little, I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna do that.
You hadn't just got locked up. Agreed? You got locked up in December. This is in March.
Yeah, but I'm still just locked up over here. I came over here in January 11th. So I'm over here now, and I know, man, everything I do, say, whatever, right, they might intercept it. They might listen up. They listen on the phone, so I can't talk like I really want to. You know, letters or nothing.
After hearing these guys talk in court, you could tell that the education level is not that high. These guys are not the brightest people in the book. And it's sad, you know, the one guy talking sounded like he couldn't even read. You know, the way that he just speech, the way his speech sound. It's sad, man. You know, the way that our people are just conditioned to slaughter each other. So you got Big Joook and the CMG side and then the PRE side. And y'all got to remember how many other people died after Dolph was killed, leading up into now. There's been a lot of bodies dropping in Memphis. All of it connected to this. So there's a lot of boys dying, a lot of mothers and fathers crying. And everybody that's not in the streets, you want to be gangsters, is taking sides. You shouldn't be taking those sides, man. This is devastating carnage, man. The loss of black life. And it's sad. And now these men in the courtroom, desperately trying to save themselves from a life sentence or maybe the death penalty. So now it gets real. Now it gets serious. But you was a real N-word when you was out in the streets. You was preaching about, I wish an N-word would. I'm going to take me a brother out. That's what you was preaching. That's what y'all like to dance to in the music. Y'all like to dance and groove to music that disrespect each other. That disrespect the brother that look like you, the sister that look like you. So now when death come knocking, that real stuff come knocking, now you act like you confused. Now this is the flip side of the game. You inside the courtroom. And now you singing. But I thought you was a gangster. I thought y'all was real, you know what? Man, listen, the streets is overrated, young people. I hope that if y'all seeing this video, y'all can learn from this. That stuff is overrated, man. It's overrated. Dying or going to jail is overrated. You go to jail, nobody gonna come see you. When you dead, you dead. It's a wrap. These people are not your friends like that, man. And as more of this go on, we'll be reporting on more of this, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.